And I am live. I've been fasting for more than 20 hours and I'm just about to break my fast and have to do OMAD meal. In case you're new to the channel, I do OMAD fasting. What does OMAD mean? OMAD is an acronym. It stands for one meal a day, which means I eat only once a day, which also means that I fast more than 20 hours per day. So I've been fasting more than 20 hours as usual, and I'm about to have my one meal today, my OMAD meal. Casserole. So I do OMAD fasting. I've been doing that for more than 5 years now. Fast more than 20 hours per day and eat only one time per day. And my OMAD meals are tripartite typically, which means that the meal prep is also tripartite. What are the three parts? Super shake, grand post-meal also supplements, and then the food itself. So there's three parts. My OMAD meals are typically three-part, which means that the meal prep is also three-part. So there's the super shake, protein super shake, grand post-meal also supplements, and then the main course. A meal prep for this in a TikTok video earlier today. So you can check out my TikTok if you want to see the meal prep for this OMAD Fastbreaking meal. I made a 10-minute video meal prep and only up the supplements making the super shake. And what is my TikTok name? Mike Saha 89 or Mike Saha. Okay. So I've been doing OMAD fasting for more than 5 years now. And on a rare occasion, I eat more than once, but it's like 9 or 10 days, 9 out of 100 at least, I eat only once, which means I eat more than, I fast more than 20 hours. When I do eat, what do I eat? Low sugar, high fat, low to moderate carbs, okay? So high in healthy fats. My OMAD meals are high in healthy fats. I like to have a significant amount of protein in my meals. A lot of healthy fats, coconut oil, avocado. What's in here? Coconut oil, avocado, healthy spices, turmeric, ginger, black pepper. That's the trio I like to use in cooking. Turmeric contains curcumin, which is anti-inflammatory. Ginger contains gingerols, which is anti-inflammatory. And black pepper contains piperine, which enhances the absorption of the curcumin in the turmeric and the gingerols in the ginger. Other spice I like to add to my cooking, not just for the taste but for the health benefits, is chili and cayenne pepper, which contains capsaicin, another natural anti-inflammatory. So I like to eat my lifestyle is anti-inflammatory. In the supplements, what I use, hygiene hygiene products, what I don't, to what I eat, what I don't eat, what I put in my body, what I don't, is my life is designed to mitigate inflammation, to reduce pre-existing inflammation and prevent further inflammation. So I do OMAD fasting, and I like that. If you're interested in the topic, you can search Dr. Eric Berg OMAD or Dr. Eric Berg Keto or OMAD Keto, and he has quite a lot of videos on OMAD fasting and keto. So I do OMAD keto fasting, and here's the thing: if you're learning how to do keto, typically if you Google like how to keto, they'll tell you that consume stay below 50 grams of carbohydrates per day to ensure that you will get into the state known as ketosis, where your body blood switches to burning ketones, like fat basically, for fuel, rather than carbohydrates. Now, I do believe that if you do OMAD fasting, that raises the daily carb limit, and you could consume 75 grams carbohydrates because you're eating once and you're fasting 20 plus hours. That's my personal opinion, but I do believe so that the carb limit, daily carb limit, goes up if you're fasting more than 16 hours. So I've been doing OMAD fasting for more than 5 years now. And when I say I've been doing OMAD fasting for 5 years, I feel the need to clarify that it's not 365 days a year x5. It'll be maybe 350 days out of 365 or 330 or something like that, like about 300 days. Okay. So suffice to say, I've been doing OMAD fasting for these 5 years, at least 9 out of 100 days, 900 out of 1,000. And on a rare occasion, I eat 2 times, 2 med, still after fasting 20 hours. So the main thing is fasting. 20 plus hours. And fast is not just something like obviously I don't need to lose weight. Okay, it's I enjoy the benefits of mental, physical. This is how I feel fasting, and yeah, it has a lot of effects. Like I said, you can watch Dr. Bell's videos, search Dr. Bell fasting or OMAD. So what do I eat? Healthy, high in healthy fats. I don't get that anyone talk about healthy spices. They say, well, all you need to do is put some spice in your food, and that's all you need to be healthy. So I support. I do OMAD fasting. Eat once a day. When I do eat, I get less than 5 grams of sugar per day too, as opposed to the 88 plus grams that the average American consumes. And I would think that the Swedish number is going to be close to that. I get less than 5 grams of sugar per day, other than the rare cheat day, okay, cheat meal. Um, so I probably get less sugar in a year than the average American gets in a month, okay, grams of sugar. So I already told you I do OMAD fasting. What are my what do I eat when I do eat? Uh, Keto most of the time, meaning that less than 50 grams of carbs total in OMAD meal. And like I said, sometimes I go above that and I believe that I still get on keto because I fast. And my body's keto adapted. So what are my meals like? Well, they're high fat, and I like to clarify high healthy fats. I don't use the canola oil. I don't use the Frankenstein butters, that palm oil, shea oil, this or that canola oil. I use coconut oil, which are my favorite fats, which is healthy. Um, Avocado is another favorite. And then olive oil, another healthy fat, has polyphenols in it. Olive oil, which is healthy. Now it's for low temperature cooking. So I don't fry it in olive oil, and neither should you, unless you want to burn it. So avocado and coconut have a high smoking point. They do not really oxidize, burn. So in rank ordering, heat, how hot for cooking, okay? High temperature cooking. Coconut oil has the highest smoking point and it's the best for stir fry and cook at a high temperature. Beneath that, you have avocado, second place, which you can also use for like frying stuff. But it's what is it, 200? It says on the border, cooking up to 240 degrees or whatever it says on the border, about 235 or something like this, 225. So yeah, you can cook in it, but not really like stir fry at a super high temperature. Um, so yeah, I like to use avocado and coconut oil, staple oils. I don't use the seed oils, the canola oil, sunflower oil, linseed oil. I don't use this. I use coconut oil and avocado oil, favorite fats, and they're healthy. Avocado oil contains Q10, CoQ10, um, and whatever. So hit his point. Olive oil, I use that for low temperature cooking. So, for example, if I'm gonna cook at a low temperature, like 125 degrees Celsius, I put olive oil there. Now, what I do if I'm gonna cook, I like to add olive oil just for like the daily fat and like the healthy fat, just to increase the fat. So a lot of times if I'm cooking something, at the end stage of cooking, after turning down the heat or having turned off the heat, I pour olive oil on top of it. So as close to raw as possible to retain the health benefits. Um, so today's omelet meal is a casserole. I put turmeric, ginger, black pepper in there, chili, cayenne, this priest cheese in there, my favorite cheese, natural salts, Himalayan pink salt, which is healthy salt, good salt. Some people argue it's contaminated with mercury or whatever. I've seen things showing up. People say the Himalayan salt is dirty secrets, got bad stuff in it, whatever they say it is. Now, I don't believe so. I'm going to be buying it. I don't believe it's a problem. I don't see a problem. So here's the point. I have a mix of natural salts. I don't use the white table salt. I use that for nasal rinsers, like regular table salt. I use that for mouthwashes, make my mouthwash, salt water for mouthwash and nasal rinsers. For cooking, I use Himalayan pink salt and sea salt. So I have a can that's mix and makes 50-50 mix of Himalayan pink salt, and some natural sea salt. It's Maldon sea salt flakes or minerals or some kind of natural salt. And Himalayan pink salt aids hydration. It has a rich mineral profile. It has stuff that helps you to hydrate. Okay. So there's Himalayan pink salt. One on the list now. What's in the casserole? There's Heinz beans in tomato sauce, about a third of a can. There's three Bullens Pilsen called organ meat sausages. Come in a can, my favorite hot dogs. Sausages. They come cold, so you have to make them hot dogs. They started being cold dogs, warm hard, you gotta make it yourself. So what else? There's turmeric, as far as spices go, turmeric, ginger, black pepper, chili, cayenne, salt. I told him that pink salt and then sea salt. Some kind of natural mineral salt. Fats, coconut oil, and olive oil. No avocado oil today. Yeah, I ran out of that. Coconut oil and olive oil. So if I said avocado before uh, in this meal, no. Coconut oil and olive oil. What else? There's Norrlands pölsa in there. Okay, which is northern Sweden, and that's how it's pretty much like minced meat. It's canned meat, similar to corned beef, you could say. It's similar to corned beef. Okay, it comes in a can and it's meat in there. No. It's corned beef. Okay, this time, not the Norrlands pizza. It's corned beef. A whole can of corned beef. Three Bullens Pilsner corn, organ hot dogs, and about 50 grams of Priest cheese. Okay, which one of my favorite cheeses. Uh, there's coconut milk in there, yogurt, and that's about it. I might forgot something. So here's today's OMAD meal: super shake, protein super shake, grind pulse with also supplements, and then here's the food itself. I also have this OMAD potato chips. I used to dip them. It becomes a little bit, it's either my face on camera or the food. So if I find the golden level, there's a little bit of my face and most of the food. Or there's a little bit of the food, a little bit of the face. So here we go. The birds are all right. Well, I will work for now. So here we go. I'll drop a link to my TikTok in the chat for people who want to see the meal prep. I've started being more active on TikTok again. says something went wrong. I tried to click the link, so but I got the wrong link there. How do I link to my TikTok? Go here. I forget about it. You might be clicking on someone else. So here we go. Today's OMAD Fastbreaking meal. I'm a Christian for the video, which means I'm a Christian being persecuted. I'm a persecuted Christian, taught in the video, talk about a secret persecution form called gang stalk on taught videos. And gang stalk is very real. Most online TS are called are not. And the crazy stalk is the way most of the time. Meaning, in my estimation, 90% or so of online so-called taught videos are fakes. They work for the program. And 90% of the fakes, crazy talk. Hence all the talk about direct entry weapons, V2K, O&M, flat earth, space reptilians. They like to mix into the talk about the talking. So gang stalk is real. Most TS are not. And gang stalking is not just harassment, it's a war. It's really good. A hearty meal. Grab his grand post-meal dose of supplements. B1, B2. Time to type this stuff in. Just to give us a seed. Which means now I have to wash my head because I touched the bird cage and stuff, so they stand off the procedures. Don't want to get some kind of bird flu. But, you know, I don't know, you could get sick if you touch, if you touch a bird cage, there's a bird flu over there, and then you have the feed. It's like obviously the sun is walking with it. But it's head to solve. That's the whole meal. To be a great Christian has some discipline. The average Christian man is a sugar addict and a porn addict, sex addict that watches porn. They get to porn, but they stop watching porn. The average Christian man, unfortunately, is lovers of pleasures, and they're carnal. Whether I'm not joking. I believe that the statistics are that the average Christian man watches porn at least once a week. I never do. I stopped, meaning more than 6 months at one time. I never watch porn. I don't even play with myself once a week without looking at porn. That average Christian man is weak mentally, physically, effeminate looking being in the character, body, testosterone levels, personality. They're addicted to porn, sugar, and they live a life designed to avoid hardness. They're living a life evading hardness and pursuing pleasure. They're looking to feel good and avoid not feeling good, primarily. That's like an operating procedure. As a acronym, like feeling like avoid discomfort and seek pleasure, pursue pleasure. So it's a common problem which I'm bringing it up. It's not like a fringe that what I heard is 1 in a million. No, it's kind of common. The average man watches porn. I stopped watching, but I never watch porn. And the average lost person does is normalized in the culture, porn watching. But the average Christian man is confronted as well. You're not confronted as well. Whereas that's my estimation looking at why the bottom is so weak, because they're confronted as well. So other Christians, the average Christian, just like the average lost person, see confronted. So the average lost person does know 3 Bible verses by heart and can quote 3 King James Bible verses by heart. The average lost person is not doing soul winning. The average person, if they act online, is high like a carbide limit. The average lost person eats a high sugar diet, watches porn, is a porn watcher. Doesn't have like discipline about it. Doesn't take the supplements into this. And that's how the average Christian lives. So I was a guest on a panel before. Somebody was a workspace salvation a recruiter. Was up a guest on this panel. And there's a fake TA that gets handed it to harassment term. Now, they had a guy up there, I guess. And she was well, whatever it was, the guy there, it was some kind of Christian. Prince said, Mike believes you go to hell if you're gay. No, and I had to correct them. I don't know if I was joking. And I told, that's the opposite of what I teach. And I said the truth. No, that's not true, Pune. That's what I teach. I teach that it's a sin to be gay, but there's no sin that can keep a person from going to. There's no sin that sends people to hell. The one thing that sends people to hell is non-belief in the gospel. So a person can be gay, believe the gospel, go to heaven, and a person can be straight and tied and never cuss and never drink and go to hell because they believe the gospel. So the issue about eternity is the only people that go to hell are people that didn't believe the gospel. You don't have to stop sinning. The sins that a person is doing is not keep somebody out of heaven, send them to hell. It's no belief in the gospel. That's one thing. So you can be a prostitute, believe the gospel, and you go to heaven, even if you would stay being a prostitute after getting saved. You can be a homosexual, believe the gospel, and go to heaven. You can be a fornicator, porn watcher, thief, believe the gospel, is they go to heaven. And then you can have somebody who's like a Catholic monk, has never cusses and like prays every day and never believe the gospel, is going to hell. So the issue with skin salvation is, have you trusted the gospel or not? So the gay people don't have to stop being gay to get saved and go to heaven. They just have to go from not being the gospel to the gospel. As everybody else. So that one issue, the one thing that sends people to hell is non-belief in the gospel. And this person had a previous guest. He was a workspace heretic. I had to prove it. Because he went, well, I believe you've got to have, you got to get it to stop blasting. Okay, your works. You're preaching works. You're preaching works. Salvation is by faith only, and I quote from memory. For by grace they say through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is a gift of God, not of works measure boast. So you're saying a person can't believe like this to go to heaven, they should be doing that, where you're preaching works. Somebody has to stop things off and start doing something else to go to heaven, which means you're a works-based person. So most fake Christians are works-based heretics. Most people preaching a false gospel, it's works corrupted. Now you can have a false gospel, corrupted gospel, without it being works. I think I might have to make more videos reproving him and export him. He lacks understanding, so by me look now. Well, the way that people corrupt the gospel is by adding a work to it. That's not correct. I can show several examples of people not corrupted the gospel by adding a work, like the Grace Evangelical Society, who preach a crossless gospel. See, they preach a faith-bomb message, but they leave out the death and resurrection for sins. See, that's a corrupted gospel. So salvation is not by cleaning up the act. Salvation is by seeing your need for salvation and choosing to believe what God wants to believe, which is the gospel. You need to beware of my other platforms if you want to see the full thing. Here on YouTube, I had to water myself down and be a low quality version of myself and less assertive. I should say this. Because I've gotten videos pulled for bullshit reasons for my YouTube. I've got medical information strikes. I've got, okay, it's like I can't be as quality on YouTube as I'd like to be. I had to hold back here. I'm teaching health fitness. And in general. So the average Christian is a filthy porn watching pervert. And to criticize me, there people have got to the past. It's a long time since I used to watch pornography. And just like the worse I was, it just shows the contrast how much I improved. So with me, you have to go to stuff before the past and say, well, you was a pervert. Yeah. So, no, I'm not saying that since a teenager, like I've never been into sexual morality, no. I've been a fornicator. I watched porn as a younger man frequently. And I got to a point where I went from doing that to being sexually pure than the average person. Okay, possibly being worse than the average person. Watching porn more frequently. Maybe when I was still doing it, I was watching it more than some other people do. Okay, maybe I was worse than there. And went to 100% of watching porn and have discipline. This average man is a filthy porn watching pervert. If you're a Christian man, it's like I don't make a lot of videos. It's like if you're a lost person watching porn, you're a freak or something. They're Christian people. You're like, I'm saved, I'm a Christian. Okay. The Bible says flee fornication. But the lost world is the lost world. I don't expect the lost world to be more living like they're a Christian, why not? Yeah, so I'm a target of a secret persecution report called Jane Stalker, and it can be traced back to the deep state that controlled us from behind the scenes. Deep state Illuminati controlled the world from behind the scenes. Yes, if you're a Christian man, don't watch porn. It's very nutrient dense. Like calories per size, you understand? How much this food, like a tablespoon of it, how much calories are in there, how much fat, this and that. It's just nutrient dense. Now to the Grand Post-Med also supplements. I washed down with my Super Shake. All right, today's OMAD meal. How long have I been live? 36 minutes. I finished it in less than 45 minutes. Typically, I have around a 1 hour eating window, which means I don't take 4 hours eating. Typically, I'm done eating within hours. You dropped your hair. Kanske en better video.